Good morning. The time is 5:30 on December 16th. Welcome to Newswatch 12 this morning. I'm Carlos Murrieta. We're taking a live look out at South Medford from the Coquel Casino Resort. We want to turn over to the Storm Alert Weather 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress for a look at our Tuesday. And Sarah, just how much rain did we see yesterday and how much more can we expect today?
Well, yesterday we did see a decent amount of rainfall. It was pretty beneficial for most of us across the region. And today we're expecting to see even more than what we received yesterday. You can see from periods of moderate to heavy rainfall through overnight tonight and into tomorrow. But yesterday, most of that rainfall was along the coast, but even areas inland did get a good healthy amount. So over the next few days, though, we are expected to add on to those totals, especially if you are along the coast into Siskiyou County. But inland areas this time, you're going to get a good chance at seeing quite a bit of rain as well. Over onto satellite this morning, we are seeing clouds moving across the region. In terms of rainfall, it is pretty quiet starting off our day. The bigger concern into your commute is going to be areas of fog for areas over west side, and not only our west side valleys, but areas along the coast as well. But in general for today, we'll hang on to those clouds. Gusty winds are going to pick up along the coast, mountains, and areas east side, and we'll see more widespread rain as snow levels stay a bit higher to start off your day, but they do lower by the time we head into tomorrow morning. Here's a closer look out at that fog this morning. Here's along I-5 in Phoenix. Visibility into Medford is about 20 at 5, it's about a quarter of a mile. And down into Montague, we're looking at about 3/4 of a mile, and along the coast as well. So definitely plan for some extra time into your commute this morning. Now over in terms of temperatures, we're at 35 for Klamath Falls, 40 for Montague, 45 for Medford, and along the coast we have temperatures into the 50s starting out this morning. Out in general for those highs today, it is going to be a bit more on the mild side, but still rather chilly heading out the door. In general, we're holding on to those cloudier sky conditions. Rain does start to spread in more as we switch over into those afternoon hours and into our evening. Most of that falling overnight tonight, more widespread. But for tomorrow, we'll see showers wrap up rather early, and then it'll be a bit breezier as our next storm system moves into our Thursday, and we're tracking quite a bit of rain through the end of the week, where an atmospheric river is going to be dumping quite a bit of rainfall across the region, also picking up those winds as well. I'll let you know what you can expect coming up in the days ahead on your next forecast. Carlos?
Thank you, Sarah. This morning, an urgent manhunt for the Brown University shooter. The FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward as police release new security video showing a person of interest. Authorities released these videos taken on Saturday showing a person dressed in black walking several blocks from the Brown University campus. Authorities are now urging anyone who might recognize the suspect to call the tip line. The shooting happened just after 4 o'clock Saturday as students were in the middle of final exams.
The sooner we can identify that person, the sooner we can, I think, blow this case open. But that's work that has to happen in the next 24 to 36 hours.
Meanwhile, there's now an increased police presence around the city as the search continues. Several private schools in the area remain closed this morning. And the world is mourning the tragic loss of one of the biggest filmmakers in the entertainment world, Rob Reiner, a man who also left an enduring impact on Western Oregon. And it's no secret that one of Rob Reiner's most beloved and acclaimed movies, Stand By Me, was filmed right here in Oregon. Israel LaRue sat down with a local man who helped Reiner find some of those iconic locations for the movie.
Iconic scenes of Rob Reiner's classic movie, Stand By Me, were filmed in Brownsville, Veneta, Junction City, Cottage Grove, and Eugene. And Rob Larson, who worked at the Oregon Performing Arts Network in Eugene back in 1984, helped Reiner pick out some of those memorable locations where the movie would be filmed.
It was just the satisfaction that getting him all the shots he wanted to film here and do a major movie here in Oregon. A lot of film companies kind of ignore the central part of our state, the southern part of the state they avoid.
Leads to one of the most unforgettable scenes in Stand By Me, but a little movie magic goes a long way as a young cast didn't actually run away from a train.
When you see some of the scenes of the kids running across a rail trestle, a train was not chasing them across the trestle. That was done by early special effects. The kids at the edge of the bridge jump off onto this big, huge 3-foot foam mat.
Larson also remembers how it was like working with Reiner on the movie.
It was just like talking to your best friend. He would ask me a couple of questions. I'd say, hey, try this angle over here. And then he would frame the shot, move around like this so he could frame the shot, take notes, and that's part of movie history. Is his note-making became Stand By Me.
And how he pushed the young actors who went on to make the film a star-studded cast.
He had young kids to work with, and they were kind of hard to get motivated because of their age. So he would kind of be pretty gruff at times on getting various shots and scenes done, but he got the reaction out of the kids that he was looking for.
Reporting in Eugene, I'm Israel LaRue.
Meanwhile, the younger son of Rob Reiner is being held in jail without bail for the murders of his father and mother. ABC News is reporting that the couple's daughter found her parents stabbed to death in their Los Angeles home Sunday afternoon. In the past, the suspect, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, suffered from severe drug and alcohol addiction and homelessness beginning in his teens. He spent several times in rehab, and he eventually co-wrote a screenplay based on his experiences for the movie Being Charlie, which was directed by Rob Reiner. And new this morning, Oregon Governor Tina Kotek is applauding the permanent injunction issued by the U.S. District Court of Massachusetts that restored building resilient infrastructure and communities grants across the country. Now, earlier this year, President Trump froze $135 million in federal BRIC grants to Oregon. At that time, 21 projects across the state were already awarded or underway. Governor Kotek says restoring the funds from BRIC to these projects will keep Oregon communities safer when disaster strikes. At this time, BRIC funding has not resumed, and some of those projects impacted in Southern Oregon are the Medford Water Commission Distribution System Resilience Backbone, the Grants Pass Water Treatment Plant relocation, and the Jackson County Building Code Enforcement upgrades. And a federal judge in Oregon has now blocked the Trump administration from penalizing states over their SNAP programs. The ruling stops the federal government from imposing millions of dollars in fines on states. The court order temporarily protects SNAP operations while the case moves forward, allowing Oregon to keep helping families without fear of penalties. We're continuing to track these developments and will provide updates as they become available. And we spoke with U.S. Senator Ron Wyden discussing several topics, including the reauthorization of the Secure Rural School program, which was recently passed by Congress. Now, this is to ensure rural and forested communities across the state and country receive funding for roads, school, law enforcement, and other critical services. Senator Wyden said this is a lifeline for rural communities across Oregon since he originally authored the program back in 2000. He stated this one of the more significant pieces of legislation involving financial help for Oregon. Wyden said he's going to push hard with rural Republicans in the Senate to make this permanent, as this will be his #1 priority in the new year.
So that folks in Southern Oregon and elsewhere will have predictability for school funding and roads funding and law enforcement funding, and it's going to be a big priority of mine as soon as we get this implemented.
The Secure Rural Schools program has brought millions of dollars to the region, Wyden said. The next steps is going to be getting that money out, and it'll go through the Common School Fund. This is targeted to folks in rural Oregon, and many counties in Southern and Central Oregon have gotten a significant amount of money. And we're continuing to track the Josephine County Board of Commissioners as the board discussion was once again unable to proceed without both current commissioners being present. Yesterday's discussion was set to review applications submitted to fill the vacancy left by former Commissioner Andreas Bleck. But Commissioner Ron Smith was not present for a discussion to take place. Commissioner Smith posted on social media saying he has chosen to deny quorum to stop what he believes is a flawed process. Smith says he does not support the 48-hour window for applications as it limits opportunity for public participation. The Board of Commissioners are still set to meet every day this week to continue the process to fill that vacancy, but will continue to track if those meetings take place. And this one's a given, but ski season in Southern Oregon has always depended on one thing: snow. But that snow is becoming harder to count on. For ski businesses that rely on a wet season, that uncertainty means making expensive decisions weeks or months in advance without knowing if winter will cooperate. Climate scientists say even a few degrees of warming is changing when and if the snow sticks.
We were absolutely going to a future where there's, less and less snow, even though year-to-year variability, there might be kind of a wet year or whatever, but the trend is for less and for less snow and for it to be less reliable.
Coming up tomorrow morning, we'll take a look at how changing winter conditions are affecting local ski businesses.
And today we're keeping a close eye on wind gusts as well, because it is going to pick up throughout our day, and well as keeping an eye on an atmospheric river setting up to hit the end of the week. Now in terms of those winds alert, we do have a high wind warning in place, areas over east side, and also a wind advisory as well, where those gusts could reach up to about 50 to 55 miles per hour. I'll let you know what you can expect all coming up in your next forecast.
And still ahead this morning, federal authorities say they discovered a plot to bomb U.S. companies in Southern California on New Year's Eve. We'll have more on the group being held responsible. Plus, congressional lawmakers are working to avoid rising healthcare costs before their winter recess. We'll have that story and more coming up, but first, let's go ahead and take a live look out on Mount Shasta from the Mount Shasta Resort. It's currently 5:41 a.m. as you're waking up with Newswatch 12 on your Tuesday morning.